this is the place to talk about these things, right? So what happened was, obviously, I was going to go to... this whole story was crazy. So I remember I was opening a box of Darkness of Blaze. That's when the set first came out. And I remember I pulled the Charizard VMAX, but I got, obviously, because I was now working with Pokerand, I got it a little bit... Well, not working with, because I own Pokerand now. I get some wholesale stuff.
You own it. Yeah.
I was opening it quite early. I was like, you know what? I might be one of the first people to get this Charizard card. So I messaged you guys. I was like, can I send this to you straight away to get sent maybe early? And you guys, and then I think Tom said, just bring it, man. Just hand deliver it.
I remember this very vividly because I said to you, "Oh, just bring it down at some point yourself in person. We'd love to see you." And you replied instantly, and you were like, "Okay, I'll be there tomorrow." And I was like, "What?"
Bro, I get things done quick, man. And then I guess same thing with the Logan stuff. Like the biggest credit that we had there to the channel and everything was that I just went super fast, just didn't sleep, just got it done. I was like,
make it clear to guys though, this wasn't like midday you originally messaged. This was at like 11 p.m. and then he was like, I'll be there tomorrow at like 11 a.m. And I was like, okay, I got like 12 hours to prepare for that.
Yep. So I booked a cab. I booked a train at like 8 a.m. or something like that. Got up at like 6, 7 to prepare the cards again. And I was in my room. I was like, if I'm coming to you guys, I might as well bring more cards. So I had like some submissions that I was ready. You know, grade. Well, I think Grade Fit wasn't there then. I don't think. Maybe it was actually.
Yeah, you had great fits.
We might have had great fits.
You didn't.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay, yeah. So got them all sleeved up, got them all ready, and then brought those. But then I was like, you know what? I've got other cards. Remember that collection I bought off my brother? I had like collections there. So I was like, you know what? Let me just bring everything I had. So I was literally scrapping around my room, just picking cards up left, right, and center, and shoving them into my bag. And I was like, you know what? I'll just leave them up there, or I'll semi-rigid them there and organize them there. I was just grabbing everything, and my backpack was so heavy. And I was like, you know what? I've got like tens of thousands of pounds worth of cards in my backpack. I don't really want to get like a train, because the train to where you guys are, it's not like a regular train. It's like not like a cross country. It's more like a underground style train. I was like, you know what? I might as well just get a cab. Like with the amount of cards I'm taking, it's better to have that extra cost for the insurance. So I took a cab there. It was actually really nice. It just took me straight. No, it took me to. It wouldn't take me to your house for some reason, or the location.
Yeah, because
it took me to the train station.
Nowhere, yeah.
Yeah, so then you can pick me up, and then I didn't plan to stay. I didn't plan to do anything. I said to myself, maybe I'll get a hotel, right? I might get a hotel if I'm there late, but I'll just get a train back. Ended up staying there for a while. Ended up not being able to get the last train. Ended up staying at your place. I had no change of clothes, and it was the hottest day ever, so it was stinking, man. I had to like have a shower and put my sweaty clothes back on again. And long story short, well, it's a long story anyway, but we ended up filming the day before and the day after. But it turns out I didn't post barely any of those videos. So there was no point. I just wasted your time and my own time.
Yeah, still got loads of them. Maybe we should post them.
Yeah, you filmed a load of submission videos. So what you should do is film them the day before, like the day you get your returns, and just be like, oh, guys, look at the turnaround time.
Yeah, I might,
just get us into even more trouble with everyone.
Yeah, I might put those in the video as maybe like if we do any predictions. But I think it was around that time where I posted a submission video and it just wasn't doing very well. And I was like, you know what? It's when I decided I'm just going to do returns. With that being said, I'm posting a submission video tomorrow because I had no ideas.
Oh, you know.
So that was a fun time though. You know, it's like I think the good thing with us is that we just get on well, don't we? So it's sure. Anything we do then professionally is just nicer. So we can kill two birds with one stone, get some like business stuff done or filming while also like chatting. I remember we had some pizza there as well. So it's good really.
That's chill.
So,
I'll do anything for pizza. I'm not gonna lie.
Once this crap is over, we'll do it again.
Do some more.
I'm sure. Yeah. And you can come and see the new one. You could open it up.
Get your little scissors,
get some scissors, and you
like
could
a ribbon.
Yeah, you know what I'm thinking? We could do this. This could be a segment where we could title this one something like "When did Randolph and Graded Gem meet?" Because it's probably a story that we often. I think the tough part about a podcast is what I forget with mine and Simon's one as well is like we forget that a lot of people don't know stuff. So even though it's boring for us to talk about together, the audience don't know it yet. So it might be quite interesting. So I guess we can talk about the history of what happened.
A long time ago, I sent you a tweet.
Yeah.
A DM on Twitter. A very long time ago. You said you were interested in cards and stuff, and I heard it because, you know, I watch you guys.
Yeah.
And
do you, Tom? Do you watch them? Just a little bit.
I do watch them quite a lot. And I just messaged you on Twitter, and if I remember rightly, you just looked at my profile and was like, "Who's this guy?" And then saw that like people you followed me and stuff. And then you were like, "Oh, is that Graded Gems and Graded Groudon? Is that right?" You tell your version of that bit because that was your side of it. Yeah,
so that's when you first reached out to me. Which obviously, if you didn't do that, we would never be in this position now. So that's sick that you've done that. But when I came back into collecting after finding my childhood cards and after getting back into the cards again, it was when Pokemon Go came out. It was before Evolutions, like a few months before Evolutions. I think the last set back then was like Ancient Origins around about that time. So Steam Siege, Ancient Origins era, just before Evolutions came.
Really investable sets.
Yeah, so the middle of it.
Yeah, should have bought more.
Ancient Origins is actually a pretty good set, to be honest. It's got the Lugia, the full art. But I was watching videos back then, like YouTube videos and grading videos and just like on Instagram and stuff, chatting to people. And Connor was one of the people. I don't know if I found your videos first or if I found your website first. I think I maybe found the videos and then found your website through that. But you used to have a website, gradedgroudon.com or something like that, where you used to sell your, as you do, you sell your PSA cards. And I think my first ever card that I bought was actually from Connor. Obviously, I sent mine off to get graded myself, but the first one I actually bought graded that I didn't submit myself was from Connor. My first edition Meganium from Neo Genesis.
How much was that?
It must have been like 90 quid or something like that.
90 quid? Maybe. I've ripped you off well bad then.
maybe I'll find an email one day. Yeah, maybe it's maybe it was less than that. But I think I bought that. I bought a Misty off you, I think, as well after that, perhaps. And I used to message.
I'm surprised you found my channel. It was tiny back then.
I used to watch.
No one else was doing PSA grading videos though.
It wasn't.
I would be part of everyone.
It wasn't that big as well. Like we all look back to 2016 being the first like boom of Pokemon cards, but it's nothing compared to now.
It was the first time PSA grading come to the fore, like, or grading cards came to the fore,
Pokemon,
wasn't it? In
yeah.
2016, like yeah, for sports, obviously it was big anyway. But like it was the first time we ever saw like a big increase in interest. Like back then, it was just me working Sainsbury's night shifts, doing graded Groudon on the side and having fun with the cards. And like the old style videos you would have watched were like first edition based, Neo Destiny, like all the old school WotC stuff that people dream of now. And it was just me just flicking in binders.
Yeah, I saw you literally buy the first edition Neo Destiny set, and you literally found the Shine Celebi there, and you're just like taking it apart through little plastic wraps. I like them videos. I like the hardcore, like gritty, just like collection videos, and that's what it was back in the day. So I used to watch you from that. I used to know the name Graded Groudons. I used to obviously know that and knew Connor. Message you a bit on Instagram. If you go, now that I finally got back into my Poke.Rand Instagram account, I actually went through the messages, and so many messages were there with a lot of people now who collect. I used to chat back in the day. Even Leonhardt used to like all my photos, so we must have been in the same circle back then. I think he unfollowed me now, or unfollowed that account since, which you can't blame him.
Leonhardt?
It was inactive.
But I was saying this at the top. The circle was a lot smaller, wasn't it? Like everyone knew everyone.
Yeah.
And now, like Poke Revy's blew up. You've obviously blown up.
Yeah.
I haven't. But like other people in that,
you've blown up, bro.
Yeah, I've blown up. No, but like people who were back then, the original OGs. I guess you got Scott and Gary, who were even before that.
Yeah.
But there's a whole group of like influencers there who've now grown again due to this massive boom.
Yeah.
It's cool looking back at some of those names, really.
Yeah.
It's just a funny thing where it's like back then you never really understood. Like, this is going to sound odd, but to me back then versus now, it doesn't feel different. I know it's different. Like, I know it's changed, and I can see it changing. But in my head, it's like back then I always thought it was this big, which shows you. I think when people are looking at buying cards or investing in cards or whatever that may be, or even just collecting and understanding how big the hobby is. Back then I thought it was huge, but it was. I knew a lot about it. Just doesn't mean everyone else knows a lot. Yeah. So it's just interesting. If I knew that it wasn't very big and it was a small thing, then I would have gone and bought everything under the sun. That's what listening to PokeRev chat with Pokemon Radar on his podcast. One thing I learned then is like PokeRev was very aware of the size of the hobby back then. He's looking at what can I do with these boxes, grading, etc. Whereas me, I was just there like, first edition Charizard is so expensive, man. That's ridiculous. Whereas like now, I'm saying the same thing, but it's obviously changed a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Well, he went out and bought, like, I can't speak on his behalf, but I remember back then he just bought crap loads of booster boxes and he'd break them and just grade everything. That's what he used to. So you know how I did it with binders? He did it properly. He did it with booster boxes.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said he used to buy every single day, right? And every night he used to open packs and grade them.
Yeah. No, to be fair, his story is really interesting because he was a massive seller before he even became an influencer, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then from there, he turned into this huge influencer and doing the box breaks now. He is actually responsible for a good number of those primes back there. I bought one prime off him, and he collected them for me in the US and then shipped them over.
That's sick.
So he's a really sound guy.
Yeah, with that being said, guys, we need to make sure you guys let us know in the comments who you want to get on the podcast as a guest. Obviously, we've started these first couple episodes with just us, but we do intend to get guests on there. So, PokeRev or any other names you want to get on the podcast, suggest them to us down below, and we'll go and see if they want to come on. I'm sure they will be down for it. Me and PokeRev for a while, even before this whole Logan Paul thing and then the whole recent hype, spoke about doing some content together. We just couldn't figure out what. So maybe a podcast is a great way to just break the ice and just get that done, because it's very easy. Just sit down and chat, and you get a lot of information from it, and the audience like hearing perspectives. So yeah, definitely let us know who you want to get, and we'll try and get as many people, big or small. It doesn't have to be the biggest guys, it doesn't have to be anyone specific, just anyone who can come on and talk Pokemon. We'll do that. But anyway, so good. I saw the graded gem thing, and then obviously years went by. I saw the graded Groudon, who kind of was. Years went by. I stayed quite up to date with Pokemon. I was buying the cards I needed. So after I sent my first initial batch off to PSA and got them back, I would then go and fill in my collection. So I wouldn't say that I was watching YouTube. I wouldn't say that I was watching every set that came out. But I was still buying first edition Typhlosion, because that's what I needed for my set on eBay. I was still buying certain cards now and then and grading them, keeping them to grade-ish. But obviously I was on tour, so I wasn't really paying attention. I was doing a lot of things with albums and music. I wasn't really paying much attention to Pokemon. Yeah, and then obviously that I got to a point where that got a bit frustrating to me. So I was like, I need something else to do. I need a hobby again. So then I came back to Pokemon. That's when I started my channel. And then I started getting some cards, those cards that I've been buying over the last few years to then grade. I mentioned it in a video. And then I think originally I was saying that I was going to go and submit them to someone else. And then
and I was like, no, you're not.
Yeah, you messaged the thing is, you should have been. I guess you wouldn't have known that I knew Connor, right? Or knew you guys originally.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have known that, because even then, Connor wouldn't have probably put two and two together.
I didn't know you.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were you. So you showed me that email. Do you remember when you first got back in? I didn't. When I wrote that email, I was just writing you an email.
Yeah.
I wasn't writing Randolph an email. So there was no special treatment there. Sorry to say.
I suppose it's because at that time though, in that scene, there wasn't anyone who was big.
No one even knew I was interested in Pokemon regardless. Not even.
Yeah.
I know I was away from the cards, but I was always massive into Pokemon. My Pokemon Instagram was been made way back in the day. I wanted to make a Pokemon channel way back in the day. I just didn't do it because I thought I would get laughed at when I'm trying to do all this serious music stuff. So the interest was always there.
I'm a rapper, Pokemon.
Yeah, I just never let anyone know that. So there's no reason. I mean, I emailed you on my personal account. There's no word of Randolph or anything. So you would never ever put two and two together. But when I was reading Tom's message, I saw a graded gem, and I was like, you know what? That rings a bell, I swear. So I clicked onto it, and then I kind of did some flicking through, and I was like, oh, that's Connor, man. That's graded Groudon changed into... Because your Instagram was still graded Groudon, right? So I must have found it through that.
That's my
as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, I'm definitely down to get involved. And then we actually met first and foremost, didn't we, at the Pokemon Center? That's when we first
when you cut into line. When you absolutely crashed the Pokemon Center line, is what you're saying,
bro. We can't talk about this now.
No, you did. You can talk about it.
There's no way of escaping this part of the story. We got there and we was in the first bit of the queue. And then you arrive an hour later and you just go to them all, oh yeah, I'm filming, let me through because I want to film the queue for my YouTube channel. And then you just come and stand with us.
Were you legit, can I ask this question? Were you just filming the queue waiting for someone to go, oh look, it's Randolph, and then you were just going to join them?
No, bro. It's okay. So yeah, I have to be honest, guys. I don't know. I did quit in line in the Pokemon Center on the first day. It's very, very bad. But what happened was, right, me and Laura, we were late, okay? So we were coming from the London Underground. It was so delayed.
You live in London. We don't live in London. We still got there.
Yeah. Anyway, so I couldn't find it, man. I've never been to Westfield before. I couldn't find where it was. So we were walking left, walking right. And at this time, we just saw hundreds of people getting there. So we got to the front of the queue where the shop was. So we weren't walking to where the line was, because I don't know where that was. We were walking to where the shop was. So we got to the shop and it was just massive queue. And I swear to God, honestly, I literally said to the guy, can I just film? I wanted to see where the queue ended, so I knew where to go. But I also was like, you know what, I'm vlogging. I want to get a good shot of how big the queue was. Natural, man. I want to get a time lapse of how big the queue was. So I left Laura with the security guard and I went alone. That shows you how I was being honest, And I walked and I was filming the queue and then I was looking through my camera. And then next minute, you guys are like, oi, like this, waving me down. And I swear to God, I didn't know you guys were in that line. I didn't know you were there. But when you were there, obviously, I did.
Opportunity knocked.
Yeah.
I came and spoke to you guys for a little bit, and we were just chatting, and then what am I going to do? Leave? I'm not going to leave the queue. I'm going to stay chatting. So, yeah, I did kind of push in line, but it was accidental, I promise. But it was helpful because we did get in. But no,
it was a good day.
I don't know if it counts as accidental when you text your wife going, "Oh, I'm in the queue. Come join me."
At that point, yeah.
Yeah, maybe not. But genuinely, though, like that was such a good day because we never met properly, and then we just chilled out together.
Yeah,
so
we're
easily.
still in the queue for like 3 hours, and we just didn't stop chatting absolute
I
nonsense.
talk too much,
for 3
man.
hours.
I always talk too much. Like, I always give.
That's
give
a
away.
podcast.
Yeah,
that's what we do.
even on podcasts, I speak too much. I got that you guys talk, but that was a great day, man. Obviously, it was a good thing that the queue was so long. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to chat much longer. And then I think after that session, or not session, but after that like day,
we went on whiskey after that.
After
All about
that
the
day,
Jameson, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, you know, these guys are good guys, so I'm happy to like work with you guys, happy to like chat, and then I guess it built from there. But probably without that day, probably wouldn't be, you know, at the level we're at now, right? In terms of working together
for sure,
and chat, that really helped it because obviously, as much as you want to, you can't really gauge someone through text, right? Through WhatsApp. So
No, you can't.
obviously now we've met each other, it's good, and
It's really nice as well because like you're probably the only person out third party we can really talk in detail about this specific thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, we
Yeah.
get to talk to each other, but we're sick of each other.
Yeah.
By the end of the day,
It's
so
like
it's
our
nice
other
to
friends
speak.
in real life. I say friend, singular. It's like we can't really go and talk to them about Pokemon and all that stuff. Like with him, I'll go ice skating or we go out for a drink or whatever. We don't talk Pokemon. Whereas with you, it's like, this is our biggest hobby. Let's chat about it.
yeah,
And I just
exactly.
don't have any other friends.
Well,
Like,
yeah.
this is my friendship group in this podcast, guys. So that's it, really.
And that includes all of you. So
It does, yeah. That's good.